Knowledge and wisdom, both important, but different. And let me explain. So this came up in ceremony and conversation with a good friend over the weekend. It's something I've been thinking about, especially spending so much time around so many spiritual people in this valley, so many people from different backgrounds and schools of thought and philosophies, and who partake in different practices and ways of life. One of the most important things in today's day and age, what's happening right now on the planet with this evolution of the human species and of the mind and heart of consciousness on our planet, is each and every one of us is becoming the master, is capable of becoming the master. It's no longer a time where we need a guru or a spiritual teacher or a book or a philosophy to follow. These things are great, don't get me wrong. Knowledge accumulation is how we develop understanding. Knowledge is how we articulate and decipher the indescribable, which is, spirit and spirituality. But knowledge itself is of the brain. It's something that we accumulate. It's something that we use. It's a tool, just like the mind is. It's how we feed the mind information, is knowledge, essentially, is information. Wisdom is from the heart. Wisdom comes from not what we know, but how we act, how we treat others, how we treat ourselves. Wisdom is how we live. It comes from the heart. Knowledge is of the mind. They're both important, but at some point in the journey, knowledge can also become a hindrance. We should read books. We should find ways to articulate and understand this life and the universe and our spiritual practices. It's very important to accumulate knowledge and techniques when developing a spiritual practice. But at some point in the journey, you don't need any more books. You don't need any more teachings. You don't need any more anything outside of yourself. What's most important is learning how to go within, to hear and listen to the inner guidance, to the heart, the whispers of the soul, quieting the mind, less knowledge, less thinking, more being, more awareness of how we feel, of how we are treating ourselves and others. This is wisdom. And I've just realized at this point of my journey, I've spent years reading books and studying philosophies and schools of thought and religions from every single corner of the world, dozens of them. I won't name them to save time, but I end up always coming back to the masters. They're the ones that I tend to follow and learn from because they stem from an underlying universal truth. And then all the religions and schools of thought that are created in their name or after them come from humans trying to figure it out with their brain. The masters teach from the heart. And this is why I like studying all these different schools of thought, religions, philosophies, trying these different practices, is because I like finding these underlying universal truth within them, because they all have them. You can find the truth, capital T, in many of these things. But ultimately, that same underlying universal truth, just like all the masters taught, is within us. It's within every single living sentient being, every single thing in the universe. It flows through everything, including you, including every single human being. So at some point, once we accumulate enough knowledge, we're doing a disservice to ourselves by continuing to perfect or spend years obtaining knowledge or working on one specific school of thought, practice, philosophy outside of ourselves, trying to understand it. The real work and spiritual practice is going within. We all have a different journey and a different path, but the same destination. And the universal truth that gets us to that destination is already within us. So the more we look outside of ourselves and spend time learning outside of ourselves, it's not a waste of time, but we may get more out of learning specifically how to go within and to listen to our heart and to listen to our soul, the callings, the whispers. And this is where we find the answers that we truly need. Any answer we could need, anything, any path, any method, any answer is within us. So I hope that wasn't too deep. I hope that doesn't go over the head. Sending much love, peace, blessings your way, and I'm here if you need anything. Peace out.